Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all having an amazing day. So in today's video, I am going to be comparing a full face of high-end makeup to a full face of drugstore dupes for that high-end makeup. Like a half-half, if that makes sense. So if you are interested in seeing that, then please keep on watching. So on this side, I'm going to do the high-end, and then this side, the drugstore. Let's hope that I don't get confused halfway through this and muck that up. So for the high-end primer, I have the MAC Prep and Prime Skin Base. This is incredible for oily skin. This will do a fantastic job of keeping your makeup in place all day long. And then for the drugstore side, I have the Rimmel Stay Matte Primer. You guys know I've spoken about both of these products before, and I love them. Absolutely love them. The Rimmel one, I think, is just a really fantastic everyday one. And the consistency is very similar between the two of them. They're both got, you know, sort of like a white moisturizing texture. The Rimmel one might be a little bit thicker, and I do think that the Rimmel one does sort of dry down to more of a matte finish, but they both do amazing jobs at, you know, keeping your makeup in place, keeping your skin matte, stopping shine, stopping oil, all of that. It just depends on how much money you want to spend. For foundation, I'm going to use my Smashbox Studio Skin Foundation. I did a full review on this foundation. I will link that down below. And then the equivalent dupe, in my opinion, is the Milani Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1 foundation. So I think that these are very, very similar. I will say that the Smashbox one does keep my skin a lot matter than the Milani, but a lot of you do say that the Milani works perfectly for you. So these are both medium to full coverage foundations. They're both oil free, they're both transfer resistant, and they're both waterproof and sweatproof, so you know. And then the Milani to the other side. Now hopefully these are sort of similar colors. I do think that the Milani one goes on a little bit darker than the Smashbox one, but it does sort of lighten up as it dries. Alright, moving on to the eyes, I have got the Nars eye primer. What do they call this? The Pro Prime Smudge Proof eyeshadow base. And then for the other side, I've got the L'Oreal Base Magique. These are both silicone based primers. They both do a great job at stopping creasing and keeping your eyeshadow on your eyes all day. I don't think either of them are as good as the MAC Pro Longwear Paint Pot, but these are very similar in terms of texture and wear. Now I will say the one thing that I don't like about these kinds of primers is that they don't conceal. See, I can see my capillaries that are naturally under your eyelids. This is obviously the blood supply for the skin there. You don't want to have that showing through your makeup. It is what it is. Okay, gonna fill in my brows now. I have got two brow kits here. This is the Benefit Brow Zings. This is in the color number 5 though, which is actually quite dark. So this comes with a powder and then kind of like a cream kind of consistency on the other side there. One to fill and the other one to sort of shape and tame the brows. And then the dupe for that one is the L'Oreal Brow Genius Kit, or Brow Artist Genius, I should say. The concept is pretty much exactly the same. There's a cream and a powder in that one as well. All right, so that is the Benefit on that brow. And then on this brow, we'll use the L'Oreal powder. They honestly look no different. And then to set the brows, I have got the Eyeshadow Shape and Define Brow Gel and then the L'Oreal Brow Artist Plumper. These are both tinted brow gels. They both hold my brows in place. They both tint my brows. They're really essentially the same. In fact, I actually kind of prefer the L'Oreal one. I'm just brushing my brows up. Okay, so that is the Eyeshadow one. And then this is the L'Oreal one. I've pretty much been using the L'Oreal one non-stop. Like, I'm obsessed with it. Just works so well and it's so affordable. Alright, moving on to eyeshadow. For the high-end side, I am using the Eyeshadow Burgundy palette. Love, 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 love this palette. I think that she did so much better on this one than the other two that she's already released. It's just beautiful and so pigmented. And then the dupe for this is the Morphe 35O. Now with the Morphe, you get 35 eyeshadows and the Kylie you only get 9. And this is less than half the price of this one. So I think the choice is pretty obvious here. I think that both these palettes perform pretty much the same as each other. They're both very pigmented. The colors are beautiful. They're really easy to blend. They're just really easy palettes to work with. Now, I've just quickly set both eyes with a translucent powder. Now, I'm just going to create something not too, you know, there's nothing groundbreaking about this eyeshadow look. I'm going to pick up this warm brown color first. There is an exact match for this color in the Morphe. I'm going to be wearing this makeup all day and I've got a lot of errands to run, so I'm not going to go too heavy. But, you know, I always say that and then I end up with crazy over the top makeup, so you just never know. I'm going to pick up this sort of orangey colour And I'm going to run that through the crease as well, sort of focusing more on the outer corner. And then with a smaller brush, pick up this kind of burgundy sort of shade. It's so pretty. And that one's going to go directly in the outer V and directly in the crease, just to sort of darken it up. And then I'm going to take this bronzy kind of colour and pat it onto the lid. So moving on to the Morphe palette, I'm going to replicate that exact same look. So I'm going to go in with a warm brown. So I'll try this one here. That's very similar to that Kylie one. Work that one through the crease. And then go in with a more orange colour. And then this burgundy colour here. Seriously, look exactly the same. You would never know that I used two different eyeshadow palettes. And then lastly, to finish with the gold, I'll pick this one here. So pigmented. For eyeliner, I have got my two favourite felt tip eyeliners, which actually both happen to be dupes. I've got the Kat Von D Tattoo Eyeliner and the Maybelline Master Precise. They both have incredibly fine little sort of microscopic nearly tips. They're very easy to draw with. They're great for creative kind of artwork ideas. They're just easy and they don't smudge on my oily skin, which to me is the most important. So I'm just going to use both to create... I might do a wing. Or I might tightline. We'll see what happens. The Kat Von D is very, very black. You don't really need to go over multiple times to get sort of, you know, like a full strength colour from it. Alright, then on this side, the Maybelline Master Precise. The Maybelline one I've been using for years. I don't think that either is, you know, particularly, you know, like more easier to use than the other. They're both really easy to work with. Okay, for mascara, I have the Marc Jacobs Velvet Noir versus the Maybelline Colossal Volume Express. These are both the sort of maximum volume type mascaras, and the brushes are very similar, but they will both give your lashes ridiculous amounts of volume, and I find that both of these are relatively smudge proof. This Marc Jacobs one really separates my lashes, I find. They don't look kind of clumpy on the end. I hate that really spider leg kind of lash look that some people do. I mean, if you're into that, then that's fine. But on my little eyes, I can't really get away with it. Now for the Maybelline. I do actually think that Maybelline make the best mascaras in the drugstore. So, Marc Jacobs and Maybelline. I do actually think the Maybelline one makes my lashes look quite a bit longer. Alright, I'm going to go and put some false lashes on and I'll be right back. Alright, moving on to concealer, I have got another perfect dupe, the Nars Radiant Creamy Concealer versus the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer. These are seriously exactly the same in consistency, exactly the same in coverage, exactly the same in wear time. They've both got little doe foot applicators. They really are essentially the same product. So I'm going to apply this underneath my eye. See how the Nars one's a little bit more yellow undertoned? I've used the Nars in Custard and I'm using the Maybelline in the shade Light. But when I blend them out, you'll not be able to tell the difference between them. Not at all. It's kind of hard to do two down my nose. I'm just going to use the Maybelline one down my nose for now. It is so hot here, you guys. It's only like 10 a.m. and I'm like sweltering. So as you can see here, they're both very easy to blend. I would say that they're exactly the same product, honestly. And if you can't afford to splurge on the Nars one, the Maybelline one, exactly the same. Exactly. Okay, for powder, I've got another exact dupe. I feel like we're doing well with dupes in this video. The Laura Mercier Translucent Loose Setting Powder and the RCMA No Color Translucent Powder. These are hands down the best setting powders for oily skin that are available on the market. I think they are both absolutely brilliant. The Laura Mercier one costs about 4 times the amount of the RCMA. I will say though that the Laura Mercier packaging is way better, and if you do purchase this and you have like a spare old container or something like this, just decant it because this is like freaking hard to work with. You can bake with both of these powders. They both, you know, work really well for that. You don't get any flashback with either of these powders. They will keep you matte all day long, no kidding. So that is the Laura Mercier applied there. It does actually do quite a nice job of blurring out my pores as well. My pores look much smaller on this side than that side. Now for the RCMA, I will probably say that the RCMA might be a teeny tiny little bit more finely milled. But they apply the same, they look the same on the skin. Neither of them will interfere with the colour of your makeup. I hate powders, you know, that say they're translucent and then you apply them and you're like, girl, why does my foundation look green? What's happening? In terms of the feel, the RCMA side does feel silkier and smoother, whereas the Laura Mercier might feel like even a little bit more matte. Maybe. Moving on to contouring, I have got some of the Anastasia Beverly Hills contour shades here. Now don't get me wrong, these are a beautiful product. The colours are amazing. Like there's a really fantastic colour range from all the way from really fair skin tones all the way to sort of medium deep skin tones. These are great. I don't think that they are anywhere near as good as these little sleek face form duos. So here I've got the one in medium, and in terms of the dupes, I mean, I have depotted, you know, I've sort of selected these shades from my freelance kit, so these are all contour shades. But with the sleek ones, you will get a matte contour shade, a bronzer, and a highlighter. So going in with the Anastasia one now, the colours are beautiful. There are a lot of ash tones. I think that the mistake a lot of companies make is making contour colours that are very sort of warm, nearly like an orangey hue, and you can't contour with an orangey colour. It just doesn't look right. So that is the Anastasia one there. You know, it does look really nice, very easy to work with. There's definitely nothing, you know, sort of negative I can say about it too much. Then on the other side, I'm going to use the Sleek. Now, the Sleek, I will say, has got much higher pigmentation, like you can see there already. Much higher pigmentation than the Anastasia Beverly Hills one. I think that they both blend out the same. You know, they're quite easy to work with. There's nothing sort of crazy, patchy, chalky about either of them. I think they're both really nice. But the Sleek one, honestly, it lasts so well on oily skin. It's so pigmented and it's so affordable. Like, I think this whole thing here is less than $10. And this will set you back about 60, I think, or 70. So, you know. All right, moving on to blush. I have the Nars Orgasm Blush. This is like a cult favorite. Everybody adores this blush. And I think the exact dupe of it is the Milani Baked Powder Blush in the colour Rose d'Oro. They don't look that similar in the pan, but when they are on your cheeks, they are pretty much exactly the same colour. It's a really beautiful sort of coral undertone with kind of like a gold reflect through it. I don't know why I don't use this more. It's such a beautiful blush. I think that it just gets lost in my drawer. And now for the Milani on this side. I do think that the Milani is a little bit more pigmented, maybe? Like, I feel you have to use way less product to build up the colour. It's very natural, but kind of like a golden sheen to it. You really could get away with not wearing a highlighter with either of these if you didn't want to. But I like a little bit extra, so we're going to use a highlighter as well. So I think these are great dupes in terms of colours. I don't think that they behave the same in terms of pigmentation. So this is the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in Opal. Everybody knows and loves this product. It's so gorgeous. And then this is the ColourPop Super Shock Cheek highlighter in the colour Spoon. So looking at them both here, you know, they're exactly the same colour, but this one is way more pigmented. So going in with Becca now, like, oh my gosh. It's like the sun vomited on my face. But yes! Highlighter, Slade. And then this ColourPop one, I don't know, it's kind of chunky. It's just, I realised that it's, you know, like 1/5 of the price, but I don't know. I mean, you can see it. I just think this Becca one is so much more beautiful. And then finally to finish, we have lips. And so another perfect dupe is the Kylie Matte Liquid Lipstick, or this is the lip kit, in Exposed versus the NYX Matte Lip Cream in London. This is really weird, only doing one side. Alright, so that side is on. Gosh, that feels so weird. In terms of formula, they are very similar. I will say that the Kylie one will probably last a little longer on your lips though. So there we have it, a full face of high-end, expensive makeup, department store makeup, I suppose you could say, on this side versus all of the drugstore alternatives on this side. So you will save so much money, and looking at them both now, I cannot see a difference between them. Can you guys see a difference between them? Let's zoom in. So high-end, I mean, high-end makeup is beautiful. We all know and love it. Skin looks nice, highlight looks nice, eyeshadows are blended out really well, lips don't look crusty, and then drugstore side, pretty much exactly the same. Although I do think that this highlight is a little bit chunkier than the other side. I actually really like this peachy look as well. Yes, I love accidental, makeup obsessions that you find. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Please leave me your thoughts in the comment section down below and let me know if you want to see more of these. And also let me know what other kinds of videos you want to see next. I love you guys so much, and I will catch you all in the next video. Bye!